You're listening to Speak Mother, a podcast about reclaiming your voice, your identity, and your truth inside modern motherhood. I'm your host, Shannon Warner. Let's get into it. Friends, we are back. We are back. You may have listened to the new trailer. If not, that's okay. But we are back. And while the name Having a Mom Moment meant so much to me, it was born out of fresh motherhood. I remember the exact moment. It was about 6 months in to my first daughter being here with us. And I was able to somehow squeeze like 30 minutes to myself at the end of the summer. And I sat outside in the sun for just a few minutes. And I thought, I guess this is it. This is what motherhood is. This is the moment that I get to myself. This is having a mom moment. And while I'm so grateful to the journey that name and that platform and this podcast ignited, we've evolved. And I'm so grateful to that girl. She seems like a girl now. She seems so young, even though she was 30 or 31. I'm so grateful to her. And I wish I could hug her. Do we have those moments where we wish we could hug our younger mother selves? Like, oh, sweet girl, you had no idea. You had no idea. How could you have any idea? How could you know? And for me, being a mom of daughters especially has completely changed my worldview. And while I love everything that Having a Mom Moment from the podcast to the platform stood for, this is the next iteration of the kinds of conversations that not only do I want to be having, that I feel like we need to be having, and we need to be having them publicly. Podcasting is the modern day women's circle. And I'm so honored to welcome so many of you into this circle, into this space. Hell, I'll call it a sacred space. How many sacred spaces are there where women can just converse, tell their stories, share their thoughts, share their problems, share their beliefs, and not be interrupted by a man? Those spaces are becoming harder and harder to come by, and motherhood can be so isolating. So we may not even have people that we feel safe having these conversations with. So I hope that you feel seen and heard in this space, because this is your space too. This is our collective. And if I haven't said it before, I'll say it again. I'm so honored you're here with me. I'm so honored you're here with the rest of us that are tuning into these episodes. If you've been following at all, you know I am now the founder of Resonant Collective, a boutique podcast production house for female soul-led entrepreneurs, and helping them launch and run and strategize with their own podcasts. And it has been so fun and so amazing and so life-giving, and just getting to hear other amazing women in my ear every day for my job. Incredible. And I was holding myself back from returning because I wanted to have the plan in place. I wanted to have the full strategy lined up and outlined for myself and for this podcast. But it has been yelling at me to come back. And I can't wait anymore. I know the magic that happens when I drop in behind this mic. I know the magic that happens when I can drop in with another woman on this podcast. I know the magic that happens when I listen to those nudges and I follow those urges and I tune in to what feels most aligned for me in this season. And baby, this is it. I couldn't wait another moment. I had a whole plan of we're going to do this, and then we'll outline these episodes, and then this will come after this. And I threw it all out the window. We are going to drop in. We're going to see where this goes. We're going to see how it unfolds because the magic is in the mother flippin' journey. And we know that. We know that. We're not here for the destination. We are here for the experience of the journey. And we're going to walk through this together. And I know, just from the people that I know personally that tune into this podcast, that there are a whole range of different beliefs. Beliefs as far as religion and politics and parenting styles and this and that and the other. And you're all welcome here. You're all welcome here. Because more division is the last thing that we need. So I encourage you, if you hear something and you're like, Shannon, I don't agree, I'm going to turn it off. Hey, can you pause and just consider what else might be possible? We don't have to agree with one another to still connect with each other. We are all connected because we are all mothers on this timeline. We have been dropped into this timeline to parent our specific children who were chosen for us. We have all agreed prior to coming to this earth to be in this experience together. And I'm going to try my best to help drive more unity. Because at the end of the day, regardless of our backgrounds and our beliefs and who we're following and who we refuse to follow and if we watch the news and what channel we watch and which politicians we support and blah, 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 at the end of the day, we all want to tuck our babies into bed safe and sound. And that can unify us if we let it. Now, I would like to invite you into a little book club kind of situation over the next few weeks. I had this book be recommended as the producer of another podcast. The host of that podcast had this book sitting on her shelf for, I think she said, a year before she finally cracked it open. And she was hesitant to crack it open because she knew it would make her mad. And she was right. So the book is On Our Best Behavior, The 7 Deadly Sins and the Price Women Pay to Be Good by Elise Loehnen. And there will be a link in the show notes. I can already hear some of you saying, Shannon, I didn't grow up religious. I didn't grow up in the church. This has nothing to do with me. Girl, same. That's what I thought too. But you live in a country that believes itself to be, I don't know which words I want to use here. Christian values are highly prevalent in the U.S. Can we agree on that? I think so. And even if you are not a church-going person, you live adjacent to these values. Even if you're only adjacent to Christianity, there's stuff in here you need to hear. I learned so much. It really encourages us to consider another angle because a lot of us have been raised in like, this is the truth. this is just the way it is. And this is how you, as a little girl, as a teenager, as a young woman, as a mother, should move through the world. And these ideals were placed upon us generally without our consent at all. They were just given to us like, here, babe, these are the rules. Adhere to the rules, or you shall be looked down upon. You shall be shamed. So I invite you to dig into this with me. Again, there's a link in the show notes. And I think she recently came out with a workbook too. So if you want to double down on workbook this thing, go right ahead. But I just want to talk about this. I just want to have a conversation about this. And of course, it's going to be one-sided as far as listening in this form. But I welcome you at any time. Slide in my DMs, send me an email. I'll drop all the information below on how you can get in touch with me and let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And maybe we can even gather a panel discussion around this book and what it means in our present day life. So that's the first step in this new chapter of this podcast. And, you know, if you loved what was having a mom moment, if you love that content, you love that kind of, uplifting and we can power through and let's meditate. Listen, I still believe all that, right? I still believe all that and I still live by that. However, there are larger powers at play here that we also have to acknowledge and will help explain why we are all so exhausted, like soul level exhausted. So let's have those conversations. And we're not going to sit in the anger and sit in the despair. We're going to move through it together. How can we transmute it? How can we use it for our own good? How can we use it to create a better home for our children, to create a better world for our children? We're going to take care of ourselves by acknowledging some of these things that we are pushing against, even if we don't realize we're pushing against them. And by examining the structures that we are living within and deciding if we are ready to dismantle some of those pieces in our own lives. By doing that, we're better mothers for our kids. I've said this for so many episodes. Your kids need the highest and best version of you, so you have to take care of you first. That remains true. And I invite you into this container where we're going to examine some of those things, push against where they no longer serve us, dismantle, break down, and move forward with beliefs and systems that honor who we are as women, with the gifts that we innately own as women. And we're not man bashing. I married a good one. I know a lot of you that listen married good men, and they're not the problem. And if they are a problem, let's work on that too. But they cannot possibly begin to know what we're up against because they don't have to move through this world as a woman every single day, as a mother every single day. Okay. I promised myself I would keep this short, so we're going to wrap it here. And again, I'm so excited you're here and to be part of this evolution. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience during this very long, extended pause that I never, ever intended to happen, but it absolutely needed to happen. And here we are. I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for listening to Speak Mother. If this resonated, share it with a friend, and don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Keep speaking your truth. I'll meet you back here soon.